My name is Dr. Jack. Thanks for joining me on this video. I'm a board certified anesthesiologist and pain management physician, and I like to talk about a lot of things related to health and wellness that, in my opinion, don't really get enough time in current medical schools, especially Western medical schools. And so this is kind of my outlet to discuss a lot of this. This is a talk that I gave not too long ago. Is focusing on how mushrooms and elderberry affect your immune system. And specifically, the mushrooms we'll be talking about are Reishi, Chaga, and turkey tail. Now, this talk is geared more towards a lot of the supplement world. You're seeing a lot of mushroom products showing up on store shelves as well as on online stores and things. And so I want to tell you what to look for as well as present the evidence. So I don't want to waste your time. Let's just jump straight into it. Now, a lot of you that follow my channel know that I talk a lot about CBD. I'm a huge fan of cannabinoids. In the past, I've talked about how you have to be really careful about the products that are on the market and what to look for. What makes an ideal cannabinoid product? Does it have a certificate of analysis looking at all these nasty things like heavy metals, pesticides, and microbiomes? Bear in mind, there are shady labs out there that exist as well, so the reputation of the company is very important. Is it USDA organic certified? And ideally, you want a seed to shelf company, meaning that they grow, process, bottle, and also sell the product for their quality control. So what makes quality mushrooms? Well, when you're looking at mushrooms, you want to make sure, again, ideally they'll be 100% organic certified. There's no grain fillers like starch. And you want to look at all these things like pesticides, metals, solvents, and mycotoxins as well. Quality control is important. Is it traceable? And are the functional ingredients backed by current research? And then you want to look at the extraction and processing. Again, trust and transparency in a product is crucial to maximizing safety and preservation of the nutrients, the phytonutrients or plant nutrients. Is it consistent labeling? Is it United States sourced materials? And again, the third-party testing. Now, one thing I do want to bring your attention to, and I love this, I love that certain political figures are also talking about this more, but we're living in a green pharmacy revolution. And this is timed almost perfectly now with people becoming more aware of chronic illness and things. That's why I've done so many videos in the past about ultra processed foods and nutrition and all these other things, because it really affects our health span as well as our lifespan. The green pharmacy revolution is the use of natural and environmentally friendly alternatives to traditional pharmaceutical products. It includes things like homeopathic remedies, cannabis, supplements like we're talking about here. The World Health Organization estimates that 75% of the world's population currently use herbs or other forms of traditional medicines for various ailments. And so it's really exciting to be in the health and wellness space during this time. Well, as we're talking to mushrooms, let's look at history and let it be our guide. The Romans viewed mushrooms as the food of the gods and only served them for great feasts. Greeks and Vikings believed that it gave them strength and enthusiasm before war. And America's indigenous people used it for old rituals like magical hallucinations or magical hallucinogens. This is more psilocybin. That's a whole other talk, and the evidence behind that is amazing too. If you want to know more, I highly suggest Dr. Poland's book called How to Change Your Mind. Maybe I'll do another video separate time about psilocybin and how it affects things like OCD, depression, PTSD, and so on and so forth. And the Chinese, over 6,000 years, have been using and talking about mushrooms and their value for their culinary versatility as well as their medicinal properties. There are over 150,000 species that have been described out of the over 3 million various fungal species worldwide. About 3,000 species are safe for human consumption, such as edible mushrooms, and mushrooms considered superfood. I won't bore you by reading this huge paragraph of all the things that are found in typical mushrooms, but as you can see, there are a lot of phytonutrients there. More than 10 million metric tons of edible and medicinal mushrooms are produced annually worldwide, and many studies have looked at a lot of this, and we will talk about several of these studies today. And one theme that you'll constantly see come up during this talk is antioxidant activity, and that's because it's important. When your mitochondria inside of your cells, which is basically the battery cells, is pumping away and providing you with energy, they create free radicals. And this leads to oxidative stress, which leads to inflammation and interferes with immune cell function. And the more I look into all of this, why we age, why we age prematurely, and chronic disease, as well as risk of cancer and all these other things, it's all tied to chronic inflammation. And if you're interested, I did do a video before about chronic versus acute inflammation, so feel free to check that out as well. So we can't talk about mushrooms, we'll talk about beta-glucans because they're sort of a big deal. So what are they? They're soluble fibers in the cell wall of bacteria, fungi, some plants, as well as yeast. They have various health benefits looked at in studies that relate to the immune system, cholesterol levels, glucose control, blood pressure, and the gut health of the microflora, or the microbiome or gut biome, which is unbelievably important. And we're finding out more and more about this all the time. I've also talked about this in past videos, so feel free to check it out. This is a bit complicated. Feel free to have a look at this and pause it if you like. I'm not going to jump into the details of the mechanisms behind how a lot of this works in your body and everything else. I think I will bore you. But for those that are interested, I wanted to throw this slide in there for you to take a deeper dive. So this was a study looking at the effects of mushroom beta-glucans on the inhibition of the primary tumor metastasis. They found that beta-glucan effectively stimulates the host immune response to defend against bacterial, viral, fungal, and parasitic infections. And it is also a biological response modifier since it primarily achieves this disease protective activity through modulating the host immune system. The stimulation of beta-glucan to macrophages, neutrophils, and natural killer cells, which are cells in your immune system, is proved by binding to the receptor of these cells and modulates the system. That is about beta-glucans and mushroom, but before we take the complete total dive into mushrooms, I do want to talk about organic elderberry because there's really good evidence, and I found it really fascinating in how elderberry in all these various studies helps with the immune system. So in short, it enhances a lot of stuff in a positive way. So you have cytokines, interleukin-6, TNF-alpha. These are markers that basically work within your body for various functions. You have polysaccharides, which enhances macrophages and, again, the NK cells. You have lectins inside of elderberry, which enhances the ability of immune cells to recognize and respond to pathogens. Studies show it blocks viral entry into cells and prevents viral attachment. Specifically, this was looked at for influenza. And it interacts with the gut biome as well, because it acts as a prebiotic, which is what feeds the good bacteria inside of your gut while inhibiting the bad. And historically, ancient Egyptians believed to help with fever, pain, edema, inflammation, inducing sweating, skin health, and burn treatments. The bark has even been researched as a laxative, as a diuretic, inducing vomiting, various infections, headaches, heart health, nerve pain, and even more. It acts as immune booster properties in studies, as we talked about, by reducing duration and severity if you take it early. It's high in vitamins as well as antioxidants, as well as flavonoids, which is what gives fruits and vegetables and things like that its colors with various health properties. And this was a study, and I just want to read the quote here. Their antioxidant and protective potential has been established in respiratory ailments, colds, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and obesity. Again, I'm going to be going kind of fast through all these slides so I don't talk forever, but feel free to pause these slides and go read these studies on your own. In this particular study, they took 312 travelers in this randomized double-blinded placebo-controlled trial, found that the data suggests a significant reduction of cold duration and severity in air travelers. And here's a couple other studies that also back up this data as well. And again, you can pause it and take a look for yourself. The bottom study essentially looks at influenza, and that was some pretty interesting information as well. With elderberry out of the way, let's talk about the mushrooms. We'll start with talking about organic chaga. And it's a naturally occurring fungus or antioxidant, primarily grows on birch trees in colder climates. It's been used for hundreds of years in parts of Asia and Siberia to help boost the immune system and various other health issues. And again, it has that antioxidant activity, which leads to better heart health, helps with cholesterol, glucose, uric acid, reduction in liver disease, and so much more. In this study, they found that the chaga mushroom can actually help promote cytokines. And a cytokine is just a type of protein made by the immune and non-immune cells that affect the immune system. Some rev it up and others slow it down. And by the way, when we're talking about uric acid, this is, those of you who follow the channel, I love suggesting books and reading. This is a great book by Dr. Perlmutter, talk about uric acid levels and how that can relate to so much in health. So highly suggest it. I learned so much by reading this book. So that's Chaga. What about organic Reishi? Well, there's documented usage in the Far East countries more than 4,000 years, and it's known for its healing properties. Lingzi, which is the other name for organic Reishi used by the Chinese, is quoted in saying Lingzi is a miraculous king of herbs. Studies have looked at how it supports immune health through a combination mechanism with immune modulation, antioxidant activity, anti-inflammatory effects, and by reducing stress. It's been used historically for many various health issues. As you can see here, it has over 400 active phytonutrient compounds, and it all has these various effects, as you can see. So feel free to pause and take a look at this in your own time. If you want to learn anything about Reishi, this is a fantastic article. So feel free to check this one out, as it was very comprehensive and well written. So now moving on to turkey tail. Turkey tail is packed with phenols and flavonoids. These compounds are antioxidants that have been researched to promote immune system health and decreasing inflammation and stimulating the release of protective compounds. On organic turkey tail, I didn't quote a ton of studies about organic turkey tail. Feel free to check out the studies. They're in small print at the bottom. But they are packed with phenols and flavonoids. These compounds are antioxidants that have been researched to promote immune system health by decreasing inflammation and stimulating the release of protective compounds. A lot of it reads the same as the other two mushrooms that we talked about. And it looks like it's called turkey tail because it looks like a turkey. And I use a large language model to make an image. I don't know why I didn't put a face on that turkey. It's a little freaky. Just kind of ignore if you want. And if you want to learn more about mushrooms, I highly suggest these two books. They're really, really informative and really good. So feel free to check them out. And then if you want to learn about cannabis and cannabinoids, I have done, I believe, over 20 videos on cannabinoids. A lot of that data, even though it was done a couple years ago, still holds true today. And so feel free to get educated about that and how it affects your body's own cannabis system. And for those of you who don't know, yes, your body makes its own cannabinoids. So feel free to check that out. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then feel free to share it with others. And always, please comment. Let me know what you think about this video. And let me know what you think of this format too. This is the first video where I've done this kind of picture-in-picture that I just learned how to do. I think the sound quality may not be as good. So for that, I apologize. I'll see if I can work on that in the future. But yeah, let me know what you think of everything. And as always, take care, stay safe. Bye-bye. Pura Vida.